went from minor to A&M. So
Yeah.
what is that jump? Like, you heard the job was opening, so you wanted it. Did it fall in your lap?
Well, actually, I was contacted about the job at Alabama A&M coming open, and at minor, I was really, really feeling what I was doing there with my team.
Yeah.
Had a great
Because you're the one that built. I mean, no offense to no disrespect to the guy that's there now, but
right.
minor, that was your baby.
Well, it was me and James Crone.
Okay.
For the longest, minor had been pretty much like a PWI band, and uh, when the opportunity came for me to take over as the head director, James Crumb was coming on board with me, and we decided that we were going to turn the band into a hybrid machine.
Okay. So
So,
that's where that comes from. That competitive.
right,
So that's you. That's you and him. Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. So basically, the band had been playing some pop tunes that weren't very popular to the community at that particular time because the faces started to change in the community as far as the white faces started turning into black faces the further and further we got through the years.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that we would want to start playing some music that the community embraced.
Mm-hmm.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was our first show. We did some Cool in the Gang. We did, some popular music that people really liked, Frankie Beverly and
Mm-hmm.
Mays. We kept the formations that we had been doing as far as the kind of like core style formations.
Mm-hmm.
We kept that, but just put a high knee lift with it, and then we kept some of the glide steps and the slower music. So it appealed to the black kids and it appealed to the white kids that were in the band. So we just kept that formula going.
All right. So how long was you at mine?
10 years.
Okay. So what year was it that you got the minor?
I got there in '03. I was assistant band director for 2 years. In '05, I took over as the head director. And that's when James Crumb started with me. And that's when we kind of turned into a hybrid machine.
All right. So now fast forward. You go from minor to A&M. That's your alma mater.
hmm
What was the feeling of? Because that was your first college.
That was my
That's
first college gig.
okay. This is your first college.
Right.
So how did that feel? Like, what was that feeling?
Well, it was a feeling of excitement and at the same time, kind of, like, I guess, not fearfulness, but just uncertainty of being in a whole nother realm, coming into the SWAC. Now, now you got to go up against these bands that's been known for what they've been doing. The Jackson States, the Southerns, the Alabama States, the Gramblis. So you
Yeah.
got to start all points. And all the bands in the SWAC. So now you got to start changing your whole concept of how you're going to approach music and just make sure that it's still of quality that I wanted to bring to the table. Not to say that the quality wasn't there, but I just wanted a whole different sound when I just took over as the band director at A&M.
Okay. So when did you feel like A&M became like your band? If that's a fair question.
And it is probably my third year.
Oh, quick.
My third year, I feel like that the pendulum started to swing in the direction that I wanted it to go. And actually, we changed a lot of things my very first year.
When did you do the chest tenders?
That came about when we got the Dynasty drums, probably
Not that long ago then.
about 5 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I poked fun with that because in the percussion community that was a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of folks didn't like it. And my thing about that is this.
That was a big deal.
Uh,
Oh, that was a big.
and I don't pay attention to that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But my thing is this: if the kids in the band want to play chest tennis, they want to play leg tennis, and I'm not gonna say what else kind of tennis I wanted if they wanted to play. But if they want, that's their band. This is their generation.
That's
This is
dope.
them now. This is their legacy. That's what they want to do. As long as those students want to do that, I'm not concerned about what everybody's grumbling about from the past,
Yeah.
this, that, and other. So it is what it is.
Okay, so the chest tenders, I'm a drummer, so that's why because it was a big thing where y'all did it. So that wasn't like a preference. It wasn't like you was like, we're gonna chest tenders because I want to.
No. That's what the students wanted. That's what the students wanted.
That's the part that they don't tell.
And if they want to go back to leg tennis, I'm fine with that.
Wow. No, do you want them to see that part?
If the Alabama A&M percussion section wants to go back to leg tennis, they can go back to leg tennis. But right now, they're playing chest tennis.
Well, I just got them Ludwig, so they kind of,
Yeah.
they uprights. They uprights. But no, I've always been a fan of the dark sound that you all have.
As far as the band is concerned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What compels you about that type of sound?
Well, Mario,
Because some people just don't. I don't, not to cut you off, but I'm trying to paint a picture for people that's going to watch this. It's some people that only do sound one way. If it's not high, if it's not just rambunctious, that's it. So what keeps you to say, oh no, this is the band, this is the sound that we like, this is where we're going, this is where we're staying?
well, it's distinct, number one, and it sounds good. We pride ourselves on what our sound is when it comes to marching band or any other band that we produce. We want the sound to be balanced. And you talk about the dark sound, that comes from the way Mario Warren scores his music. The low voices, the tuba, they're going to be right on point to hold that foundation down, and then he's going to stack everything on top of that. And we balance the sound because a lot of people don't know that when it comes to balancing and blending, there's a pyramid that has to be that's not delta. There's a pyramid of sound that we have to abide by to get the sound that we want, meaning that the lower voices are going to be the stronger voices, and as you go up to the pyramid, the top voices, trumpets, flutes, piccolos, clarinets, they're not going to be as strong, although you're going to hear them, but that lower brass sound, that lush sound from the lower voices, the harmonies, the chords, they're going to be right there. So that's what we pride ourselves in.
Okay, I'm put you on the spot with this one. What is your favorite band? What I mean by that, jazz, wind ensemble, small group, marching band.
As far as what I like to do,
Yeah.
I would say it would be wind ensemble and jazz ensemble. Those two.
Okay, now out of those two,
Probably wind ensemble.
okay, why?
Wind ensemble is going to be, not to say jazz is not challenging, because there are some hell of a charts out there for jazz ensemble. But wind ensemble, you have a set group of students there, and all the parts are going to be very challenging to them. We try to choose music that's going to, and not to say that grade 5, grade 6 is what you have to play, but everything that we choose in the wind ensemble is going to be of substance, and it's going to challenge the students, whether it's something that's really slow. A lot of people think that you're playing something slow and soft, that is easy. That's the most difficult music to play because you have to have so much control, expression, and things like that. And with the up-tempo music and wind ensemble, I mean, it just rips. You got to have the students the horses that can pull the wagon.
If there's
And if I can say this, with all the technique that we do in our warm-ups, like scales and lip slurs and articulation studies, intonation studies, all that is transferred over to the wind ensemble as well as marching band, all the ensembles. So just to see all that come together, you don't have to pack the band up every week to go to another stadium. You don't have to leave out of the band room and go to the field to practice. So everything that you're doing right there is really concentrated. So that's what I really like about that. You're not moving around too much other than the tours that we do.
okay, so putting you on the spot again,
Okay.
because every generation has what they like. What's something that you miss about band coach that you feel isn't there anymore?
I think overall, what's missing about band culture when I was at Alabama A&M in the 80s was that just
Born in
that
'89.
you're born in 89. I was already teaching then.
Wow.
Yeah. I think what's missing now is that overall, just if I can find the words, that overall dedication.
Okay.
You know, the kids now have so many things that social media, they have jobs, they have these things going on, you know, they have, and of course we had classes back then as well. But students have so many things going on right now that, you know, they come to you with the excuses why I can't do this, why I can't do that, why they can't come to band practice. But, you know, we, you know, have to be sensitive to some of these things that the kids are going through. I keep saying kids. But we have to be sensitive to some of the things that the students have going on. It's a different time now. So, you know, you just have to kind of work with them.
Yeah.
And just make sure that they understand that they signed a contract saying that they're going to be here, they're going to be there, they're going to do this, they're going to do that.
True.
And, you know, unfortunately, sometimes you have to sever yourselves away from them because outside things become too much for what they want to sign up for band. So, you know, it's just one of those things. The big games, they want to be there. The big trips, they want to be there. But when it comes to daily grind, Monday through Friday, you know, I got this going on, I got that going on. Not the majority of the band, but just some of the students.
What's your favorite instrument besides your main instrument?
I'd probably say the flute. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
What were you expecting? A brass instrument?
Yeah, I thought we was gonna go like baritone, trombone. Why the flute? Now you totally took it because I'm thinking the questions as we talking.
Yeah.
But why the flute?
That's my secondary instrument.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you pick up the flute?
I was in high school, and my sister, 2 years older than I am, she played flute. And so I would take her flute and get a beginning band book and start teaching myself. And I got pretty decent with it over a period of time, but, you know, started teaching.
I was not expecting that.
Huh?
I was not expecting that.
Teaching more and more. I had less and less time to work on flute, and I don't have really time that I want to dedicate to my trumpet. But you know, so flute was my secondary instrument.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite instrument? Or we not gonna I'm trying to see because you answer everything. So I'm like, is there
a least favorite instrument? I would say not, because all of the instruments are important.
Oh, that's so political.
Yeah, it is, but it's
Oh, that's so political. I finally got him to give me a political answer. He gave me such a political answer. Now, I'm gonna ask you another question. Historically, what would you say has been like your problem child as far as section goes? Whether it's based off personality, whether it's based off of bodies. Like if you had to say, I'm a band director and this section has given me a hard time in the past, not present day, but overall, what do you feel?
I don't care where I've taught at. It's been the drum section. Sorry. But it's been the percussion section. Though you know, you guys have a different mindset when it comes to music, especially right now.
Oh, like what? I'm not taking this off because I'm about to fight, Prophet, getting hot.
No.
Like what? What?
Musicality is important.
Yeah.
You know, when we're playing things, I want our guys to sound like a drum set. I want our guys to sound like
those.
Huh?
So you're one of those.
Yeah, you got to fit in the pocket and keep the band grooving.
But we bored back there. We bored though.
Okay.
We an instrument too.
Yes, you are an instrument and you are playing, but you got to play musically.
But as long as we're giving you your 2 and 4.
But 2 and 4 can't be louder than everything else.
Well, then the band should get some power.
No. That's when distortion comes. And that's when the average Joe Blow think that this band is better than the next band because they are louder than the next band across the way.
Yeah.
But, you know, seriously, we want our students, percussion section, to just play musically. And, you know, they have cadences that they can open up on. But, you know, not to the point where you're going to bust a drum head, you're going to dent a drum head. You know,
I poke my fun, but I roll with you on.
Yeah, that's just too much right there.
I just think percussionists are misunderstood, though.
Well, y'all are.
Because we the only section that has sections. So we a whole atmosphere away from the band, period.
Yeah, but when those sections within the percussion
I'm about to ask
section,
you this question too. You done walked in at a good time.
yeah. When the percussion section, you got cymbals, you got snare, you
Yeah.
got quints,
Uh-huh.
tenor drums, bass drums, or whatever else you want to have. When all of those are playing at the loudest volume, and nobody's listening to each other, everything's got to come together, right?
We listening to each other, bro.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, we
you're
listening.
listening to each other. You listen to each other, but when it's so loud that
Yeah.
you can't really hear how everything is interacting with each other. Okay, let me put it like this. Just like I just talked about the band having balance, well, the percussion section needs to be balanced too. I mean, the bass drum is going to be the boom. That's going to be
Drummers,
the
I'm
bottom.
here for you.
I'm here for you too. I'm here for you too. But when you look at the percussion section, the bass drum is going to be the bottom of the section, and they're going to have the heavy, 1 and 3, whatever the case is, and whatever accents they're going to play beyond that. And you coming up to the top of the section, it still needs to be balanced to the cymbals, to the snare drum.
True.
But when everybody is playing fortissimo, no band can outplay a percussion section at the percussion section's loudest. So that's where distortion comes in. So yeah, that's my take on the drum line. I've always been that way. And when I take my last breath, if you want to interview me on my deathbed, I'll tell you the same thing.
Are drummers the hardest working ones in the band?
I wouldn't say that.
Oh my goodness.
They work hard.
Drummers are the hardest working ones. We playing even when the band ain't. Parades, we the one group that can't stop playing.
That's true. I'll give you that.
In the stands, whenever, even if it's not run out of songs, you want to save the band, but they need something, percussion. We outside working on these cadences. I think drummers are the hardest working ones in the band. Ain't that right, Dr. Taylor?
I would say they probably do the most work. I don't want to say hard working because
Sitting with
it's
two
easier.
band directors.
No, it's easier to learn. It's easier to learn the cadences versus these students having to memorize all those songs.
Right.
So to say one section is more prominent than the other, I would say it's harder to learn all those melodies playing trumpet.
Oh my God. And you're going to,
I'm just saying.
there's two trumpet players at the table.
But
Two band directors.
Well, two band directors too, so yeah.
So I would say baritone is a more harder instrument now because they playing melodies, chords, counter melodies. We use them that hybrid instrument now. When they were beginning, they was basically use like bass on them.
When did that start?
When did what?
That's so what you just talked about, where baritones went from kind of being
The chord structure.
a supporting role to now.
I know Southern
They Beyonce at times.
Southern started doing it in the 90s. Sinai utilized them a lot. Mr. Jackson utilized them. But before that, I would say Roy Johnson started writing up there. And it wasn't appreciated then for sure. That's when people say, oh, Southern don't play loud, but they just started inverting chords. So
I remember back in high school, some stock arrangements. I think Jay Bocook wrote for one of the drum and bugle corps. And when you look at the score, the first and second trombones, the third trombones were basically the chord structure. And then you look at the euphonium part, the baritone part, that was the one that was moving. So I guess late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, around that time, we have some of those scores at A&M.
Okay, I got a question for y'all. See if both of y'all can answer. One of y'all. Everybody says the drummers are the drum set. This ain't a drum question. Just like the drummers are the drum set of the band, what is each instrument to a live band? So, for example, trumpet or the electric guitar. who's bass guitar. Well, we know who bass guitar is, but like stuff like that. If you had to make the comparison to the overall band, where does every instrument fit?
I think it depends on the arrangement.
Okay.
Sometimes the trombone can be the rhythm guitar. Trumpets can be violins, guitars, flutes, violins, clarinets, violins, saxophones. It all depends on the arrangement too.
Are you rolling with that?
I would say that trombone is the closest thing to the human voice. So depending on the voice and
Yeah.
the song determines who get the melody. But most time, trumpet playing melody. You're not gonna go a song where the trumpet don't have a solo line.
Got you.
Like
That's
even if it's the chorus or the hook, like you're just gonna have trumpets because the tone, the timbre, the horn, it doesn't sound good playing just chords throughout every song. Like you just wouldn't want to hear that.
And that's pretty much any instrument because when you have an arrangement where the melody is moving from a soprano to a tenor to an alto or even to a bass melody sometimes, that is what makes the arrangement special and memorable rather than like Kid was saying, somebody playing the melody the whole time, somebody's playing the chorus the whole time. That's not it.
I was about to say, what is that now? People don't play like Barry White. You better not write no Barry White. It's gonna sound like Whitney Houston.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause nobody want to write in that range no more.
Oh, you're about to start another conversation.
Oh no, that's not. It's just the same. If Barry White was singing this voice, then who would you give it to? And in the arranging class, you're gonna get a right answer because you know better. In arranging, yeah, I'm gonna get up to the baritones because it's Barry White, baritone.
Right.
He has a baritone voice.
Right.
Baritone's gonna be the best voice for that, right?
Yeah.
Not today.
All right. I got another question for y'all because as band directors, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna ask the question, then correct me with my question if I am wrong. But it seems like now more people are getting away from high brass in order to start playing your baritone stuff and trombones. Do you see that?
I don't necessarily see it, but I see.
Or is it just more of an emphasis on those instruments now?
I think it's an emphasis on those, and guys are writing for them a little bit more, and with the that's what baritones want to do.
Yeah.
Euphoniums.
I think it started at the early level, high school. Directors not starting students on different instruments, and then you get an influx. It's like everybody searching for trumpets. Used to be a time where,
And that's why I asked because I'm starting to see like even certain bands are putting out, hey, we got trumpet slots. Like,
yeah,
we
because
trumpet
there's a
slots.
shortage in the community of people in which we recruit from.
So that's the question then. Why is there a shortage? What you was already answering it, but why is there a shortage of trumpet players then?
Because people not seeing the value of the trumpet. It messed up the structure. So you got to build a band like you got to
Man,
raise.
he just did the pyramid, man. Y'all so band directors.
Hey man,
Yes, he just did.
It's just like a house is built from the ground up.
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it right, then you got to do it that way.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want none of them designing my house because what's the strongest part? The foundation. Foundation got to be your bottom, right? When you think about that as it relates to band, of course you want the piping. If you open up the piping on those instruments, tuba gonna reach from here to over here, right?
16 feet.
So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so you don't need a lot of tubas. It makes no sense to have 20 tubas and 20 trumpets.
Man, you need 40 tubas out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 40 tubas, you're gonna need 80 trumpets. I'm just saying, like for every tuba, I would estimate 6 trumpets per one tuba.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So when you're looking at it, that's why everybody begging for trumpets. That's why you can't hear people trumpet section. So
Because see, that's the thing is everybody is like, man, trumpets are absent. Trumpets ain't there. Blah, blah, blah.
as band directors, we're not going out turning around good musicians. So I can use Southern. When I was in band, we never exceeded 22 tubas. Sousaphones, if we had 20, we were like, yes. But we never we never, but my senior year, we had 55, 60 trumpets. And I was section leader. So when people think about balance, you think about the sound that you're looking for. That's why you don't get it today, because with 60 trumpets today, you're going to have 30 baritones, 30 French horns, 40, 50 trombones.
Yeah.
With 32s. And now you like wondering, I still can't hear the melody. Your trumpet's weak. No, man, you're going to need a bunch of me and Carltons on the horn that know how to project through the horn and not just play out in the horn.
Right.
See, that's the difference there. Well, that's a conversation for another day. These kids don't know how to properly play the instrument. I get on the Southern band all the time. Stand there, hold the instrument,
Just push the air through the horn.
put the air through the horn.
And
They want to do this. That's
So okay,
That's not getting you more power.
no.
That's getting you more
but it looks
distortion.
good though. It's nothing. It's not okay. This is just this. I'm a drummer, but it's nothing like seeing a band and you know it's coming. It's nothing like it.
It's nothing like getting shot. It's like you let me know something about to happen.
Yeah.
As opposed to just the wow factor comes from the not knowing. Like when you know something coming because you prepping. I'm about to shoot
That
you.
jump look-
I'm about to shoot you instead of
There's a
just
whole bunch of
pop.
silver and gold. I'm playing devil's advocate. There's a whole bunch of silver or gold horns, and you see that, it's like, oh,
It's not uniform. It don't add to the value of the sound. Because the most important thing is the sound, right?
right.
Then we worry about what it looked like.
Yeah.
But we more prone to say, all right, I'd rather it look good than sound good.
Okay, let me on that point. One year, our mellophone section was not as strong as we wanted them to be. So in the stands, they normally sit behind the trumpet section.
Oh, y'all did ruffle feathers with that.
And this particular year,
Come on.
with the mellophone and alto saxophone voice being very similar, I moved them in front of the trumpets so that we can have more of a mellophone sound. I caught more hell about that, folks.
You know how many people tried that though? Like after y'all did it, it was a lot of people just like, let's see what this is like. Like I'm talking about on high school level. I seen a lot of high schools try that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of high schools try.
But we needed the mellophone and alto voice to project more because with the mellophones being behind the trumpets, they were being drowned out. Moved them up a little bit closer. That sound matured. It was closer to what we were looking for. So as far as the look, that's cool. But like Kedric just said, the most important thing that we're trying to get is our sound. And so you got to move people around. You got to do that. I remember I was teaching in Birmingham at Minor High School, and it was time for state band evaluations. And Ms. Susie Winters, she was a band director at Possess Middle School. Her trombones were on the front row, not the flutes.
Wow.
Her trombones were on the front row. She did that in order to get the best sound that she could out of her band. Everybody was talking about, that's crazy. But when you heard them, they sounded great. So
Trombones in the front during concert.
yeah, there was a middle school group, and they were probably a young group, probably
Okay.
first, second or third year in band, and they just did not develop as well as fast as the other kids did. But sometimes you got to do those things that are not in the norm and make it work for your group.
Wow. It's funny hearing it from the professionals, because as somebody who just, fan of it, when you look at it now, it's like, man, it just looked good. But when you explain it like that, it's like, oh, okay, cool. But I just think it adds a certain flair, a certain grit. It seems like it's something about it, especially if it's raining.
It adds tension. It adds inaccuracy.
And I was about to say,
You're gonna be inaccurate.
Yeah.
somebody's going to hit before somebody else because they're too excited.
Anticipation.
Yeah. Right there. Not.
Oh.
Because when that anxiety kick in, you need to teach them to be as relaxed as possible. And that's one of the key things that students don't. Our best performances are in the band room. Our band room performances don't translate outside to me. Like me listening to the band, the best I hear this band is in the band room because they are more prone to pay attention. They're more in tune with what's going on.
And their focus is
Their focus is on what we are doing.
Yeah.
When you get outside, you see your other band, you see fans, the excitement, the adrenaline rushing, and then it's like simple mistakes happen. And that's how mistakes happen at performances. People like, they need to work on that more. No, they need to work on it more. They just got to be focused. That's just like a football team when somebody mess a play up. Coach was like, man, we ran this 1,000 times in practice and they never messed it up. And now you get out here and you mess it up. Why? Because you're not focused.
Yeah.
When you lose focus,
You're thinking about the girlfriend in the stand, your mom and dad in the stand, and you just, or you just anxious to get out there and hit somebody, and then you got an illegal procedure. So be focused on what the quarterback is doing.
And y'all thinking about all of this on that podium.
Yeah.
If y'all are on the podium, because a lot of people don't realize the head band director, the DOB, it's probably more background work than actually y'all touching y'all band.
Which again goes back to the question that you asked me earlier. What do I enjoy most? And it would be wind ensemble, because during football season, the Ranger, Mr. Warren, or whoever else we might put on the podium, they're doing that stuff. So, you know, there it is.
So wind ensemble, that's when it's like, I'm getting that conversation.
Yeah.
I asked Prof. Wright, he was outside. If you had to pick, what's your favorite band? Marching, wind ensemble, jazz, small groups. Like, what is your?
my favorite is all of them. I got an appreciation for all of them. Marching band. No.
Prof gave a political answer.
That's not political.
I'm talking trash. I'm talking trash.
No, so I would say no. The reason I'm gonna give my explanation. I love marching band. I love it.
Okay.
The reason I love it is because it's the art of feeling. It's I can have fun
Yeah.
But I can have fun
That's your raw.
with the other genres as well. Too much of the same thing to me is not good. So, like by the time Bayou Classic come, I'm like, I'm ready to shut this down. Like I'm not about to sit here and say I could do marching band year round. I couldn't.
No.
I can't do concert band year round because
There's a time and season for everything.
yep.
True.
I made a post about that some time ago, and upset the band world about marching band moving to a year-round art, and it's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's really not. And you know, truth be told, I really want to be able to do wind ensemble in the fall as well as marching band.
We did that this year.
Okay, how did that turn out for you?
Much better.
Yeah,
Yeah, musicians continue to grow.
yeah.
This is my thing about it, and which is why most of our black bands are not as successful as they can be.
Here it go. You about to give it to me. Go ahead.
All right. The reason why, when you were in school and I was in school in high school, one of the key things the band directors did was they made sure you knew how to play your instrument.
Most definitely.
You knew how to read.
Most definitely.
They told you tone was the most important thing. And that's being overlooked nowadays because social media has given everybody a platform. And we skip.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, there's no shortcut to being successful. Like when these guys starting programs and you got high school programs, man, if you got 10 people in the band, you need to act like you got 10 people in the band.
Yeah.
You can't make 10 people sound like Southern or A&M, Alabama State or Jackson State.
Play to your strengths.
Play to what you got in your band and teach them to sound good and be together.
Yeah.
We trying to say, hey, we might got 10, but we're going to be a strong 10. You could be strong without sounding like you just jumped out the trash can.
And we've all seen some of those videos before where small bands trying to play like they got 250. No, bro.
And the director directing like he directing the all-star band with 400 some people. Like when you got your hands way up here. It's like, hey man, they right here. They can see you. You don't have to go out. But they do that for an illusion to get people to like them.
Yeah.
And to say, oh, they're a cold-blooded band.
Right.
I always say, man, the works I do speak for me and not me speak for the works that I do.
Mm.
A lot of people try to speak for what they do instead of just letting the product speak for them.
That's good, man. That was good. That was a bar.
That's the thing, though.
That was a bar.
That's why the high school bands are not as successful in the black community, because they're getting out of it.
Mm.
They lack the resources they need to be successful, but
Yeah.
they don't want to work the program up because they just want a ready-made program to be able to go to ballad bands and the bandstand battles. They don't want to say, all right, look, man, I started my program at Baker. I had 6 students.
Wow.
6. By the time I left, I had over 120 in the program. We fundamentally it out in class. We never played songs. If you want to learn how to play songs, we're going to do that after school. Class time is going to be
I didn't know
fundamental.
you started with 6. I saw your band at
Yeah, oh man, we started.
because
I had
Dr.
6.
Irvin came in after you, right?
Mr. Walker came in.
Okay.
But
Okay, yeah.
But no, man, we started with 6 kids, and I told them, y'all, this is gonna be the start of a trend. Did I get discouraged through that? Yes, I did, because I went from a program first out of college, I had 48 students.
Mm-hmm.
When I was about to leave, I had 60 some students in the band. So you go from that to coming to the band room and you got 6 students, 2 or 3 of them bass drummers,
Oh,
a cymbal player, a saxophone player that they switched to baritone.
Mhm.
That he can't blow his nose, and a saxophone player, that big kid, but he was a senior. That's what I started with. So I had to create first day of class. So by the end of the first year, we had 24 kids that we had recruited. And we made it our nucleus. So the kids that came in as freshmen, they ended up being my strongest band. The kids that came in that year as freshmen, because we had to grow together.
right.
Like, we just trust the process. They used to call my band the Misfits.
The Misfits.
Yeah, that was the inside joke. They used to call them the Misfits. I never told them that, but
Yeah.
they used to call us the Misfits because they couldn't dance, they couldn't march, they couldn't play. But they stayed dedicated. They worked together, and
You grew them.
they grew. It wasn't no ready-made success. We watching people battle. One day that'll be us. And battling has gone to a point now where it ain't even battling no more.
Keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's not really battling no
Something
more.
to drink.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I haven't opened this one yet.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not battling no more because now we're just trying to out entertain each other. We're not trying to outplay one another. And it's gotten to a point where the musicality.
Can you break that down if you can?
Yeah, I was trying not to say. I was trying to be politically correct, but we're trying to out nigga each other.
Okay.
Out nigga each other. I can play the highest note and make it loudest, but you can't. And people get this confused. I got to say this: Dr. Greggs wasn't trying to go to be the loudest band. Dr. Greggs believed in power, playing full, but it wasn't for loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
People get that turned around. So the idiots that left Southern was like, oh, we just louder than y'all. They made us look like this man wasn't teaching music. We've been had concert bands. People ain't know it because nobody encouraged that. People just wanted to. It's kind of like, I'm a kid and all I like is cake and ice cream. I'm not going to talk about my mom cooked this good greens and I'm not going to talk about that because all I care about is
The sweets.
the sweets. And that's what happens with band now. Like, people don't care about the vegetables, the meat, potatoes. They don't care about that no more. I just want to get to the dessert.
I think that when it comes down to marching bands now, whether it's high school or college, I think people are more interested in battles than actual field shows. And that's not supposed to be.
Okay.
I think that, the battle should be a treat after the game or during the game, timeout. If you got time to play this song, then you throw one back at them, they throw one back at you. So, the fact that people are more interested in stand battles than field shows, I think that's unfortunate.
So I'm asked the question, even being a promoter, did that fall on the promoter's shoulders? Because it's an easier event. It's an easier event if I can just have y'all come play a few songs and go home.
No,
Or
don't follow
move me out to the field. No, I just wanted to know. Yes.
No, it don't. It's not on the promoter. It's on the summer bands.
Oh hell.
It's on the
Hey, look at it the way it is, bro.
when we did summer band, we did field shows.
We know we trying to put this out.
Louisiana Leadership Institute. We did field shows. I'm just calling spade a spade.
This is gonna go viral. You know that, right?
It can go viral.
I'm just putting it out there.
Listen, it's nothing against summer bands.
It's not.
I promote summer bands. I tell my students to get in summer band. All I want them to stay on their horn.
Okay, got
But the question posed: do you think promoters cause?
Yeah.
It didn't start there. Like guys don't. You only gonna teach what you know. A lot of guys don't know how to do field shows. It's easier to get on finale and write these rap songs and put all these guys on triplets and make rhythms out the trombone section like they the percussion section.
Why the percussion gotta get shot?
But no, it's like
I'm poking.
think about it. No. Think about it. If we're talking about vertical alignment and we got all these rhythms going, how do we really align the music?
Right, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm with summer band. I love the fact that we had summer band. You know why? Because it gave us an opportunity to watch our students grow over the summer.
Gotcha.
It ain't just give them an opportunity to get some kids off the street. It gave us to help these kids get scholarships. It gave us an opportunity to let these students grow as musicians. It ain't just go and talk about get them off the street. We ain't get paid for that. So what about the people that's teaching?
I do got a question then. You brought up something and it leads me to ask this question. Where is the disconnect between summer bands and college directors? I would say high school directors too, but for the sake, we have college directors at the table. Where is that disconnect? Where do you feel a disconnect is? Do you even feel there is a disconnect?
I personally don't think that there is one. I look at it like this. Like you said, as far as your students, you encourage them to do summer band. At least they're practicing. At least they got a horn to their mouth when they come back to us. You know, if they are coming from a band that was just wide open, we can tone that down in a hurry. You know,
You say wide open. What's wide open, bro?
6 Fs.
No, the reason why I ask that is because to play the other side of it is I know some mass band directors that feel, not you all in particular, but you all are the representation, that feel like there is a dislike, which is why they don't feel the want to reach out. So is there, I hate to have you talking for everybody because you all don't have the problem with the mass band, but is there a way to get that stamp from the college band directors to where these guys feel like they can call upon you guys too? Because I have heard from some guys be like, bro, like they don't respect what we do. They don't like what we do. We want guidance, but they don't want to give it. And then I'll hear from some guys like, well, the youngins don't want to listen to me anyway. So how do we now remedy both sides feeling as if they aren't heard?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say this. When I was growing up as a young musician, I've been doing this since, like, I've been around music and band, like, since I was in elementary school. My sister marched in the boom, and I always say this. But I grew up around musicians. I grew up around pioneers. So I know by watching. I went to learn. You know, I'd be at band camp. I had to wake up 5 in the morning like they did. You know, I watched Ralph Chapman at Blount High School when my brother was there. Like, I watched this growing up. So my perception is different. I feel like you got to learn before you go out and just say.
Keep going. I'm gonna just plug the camera. Keep going.
But in order to lead, you got to be able to follow.
Absolutely.
And so I think with some, I'm not gonna say all, but they're not receptive to listening and trying to grow, because some of them think they're better than you, as all the years of experience that guys have in the game. So I wouldn't say that there's a disconnect. I think the disconnect is the fact that constructive criticism. I know he gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna say it. I can remember when I was arranging and my brother told me, "Boy, you ain't ready yet." He's like, "You look like dirt, you play like dirt, you smell like dirt, you're just dirt." And I was like, "Dang, that's dumb."
Yeah.
But guess what? I didn't go cry to my mama. I didn't go cry to my dad. I went in
that tissue box.
I went grinding. You know what I'm saying? I went to work. So speaking of where we are with All-Star bands, like, man, those guys are doing something that they got a community of people who really want to be a part. We weren't able to do that during that time because, again, we didn't have the social media aspect. We had the word of mouth, and then it was like a lot of kids didn't have rides and stuff like that. So they had to walk, So they have a stronger pull now with social media. But the disconnect for the directors at college, the reason why I'm not involved because we don't get no break. Like with it being a band director at the college level, you working year round. So
I said, y'all, like, the conversation started because I was over here working, you over there working still, like, y'all constantly dealing with stuff. I just always wondered to hear from directors because I've always heard from those guys like, man, college directors don't rock with us, and I'm like, it's got to be more to it.
Man, I've heard some talented stuff over the summer. I heard some talented groups, and I'm like, man, these guys, they know what they're doing. And I've heard some stuff where I'm like, I don't get it. So I don't think it's a disconnect. I think people just don't like them. Man, this is our life. This is our livelihood. We do this for a living.
Yeah.
We in Alaska.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. I mean, it's our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? So when people play with it like it's just AAU ball or something, no disrespect to AAU, but
saying no.
The professionals don't respect AAU for reasons because of what's going on in AAU.
True.
It's like some park ball. Like, it's like, come on, guys. Y'all boys not really training these young people to be better athletes and better at the craft. Y'all just trying to go up here and like, man, my team won the championship, but this boy don't know nothing about fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part I think disconnect with the colleges because these students come learn and pick up bad habits. And they make those habits of what they learn and bring it back to your band room. You're like, what you learned?
And that's what I meant. At least you got a horn in your mouth, but you come in with bad articulation, you come in with a bad tone quality because you're playing on a jet tone mouthpiece. We don't allow those in our band room. You got to come back and fit in with what we're trying to do with our sound. It's good that you go and play with a mass band. I have nothing against them. I'm thinking some very good ones out there. But when those students come back to the band room, y'all know what to expect. You already know what to do. Get that 3C. Let's go to work.
All right, I got one question because this camera's probably going to quit on us anyway, and we segueing somewhere else. We've talked a lot, off air, just about battle of the bands. Oh, don't take that breath, bro. But what will make the battle of the bands enjoyable for you? Because sometimes just looking, it doesn't seem like y'all enjoy it as much. And maybe that could be just because you're still worried about so much, and maybe just the seriousness on your face. But what will make a battle of the bands enjoyable for the director?
What kind of battle?
You saying what?
They're like, what kind of battle bands you talking about?
No, I mean like down to the T. If I say battle of the bands, what does that mean to you? How does it look to you? What does the ultimate battle of the bands look like for you?
Organization and
That's all I face.
Oh man, nah, man. I think Prop said it. One of the key things I always say, like, I just want structure. Just make sure there's structure. Don't make sure that bands are playing on top of each other.
Yeah.
The battle bands we've competed in, they've been A+. National Ballet Band, I can't say nothing about it. We did it pretty much every year it was in Houston, you know, but that's a reason we grew with them, you know, and it was like, man, Derek Weber was willing to, if he asked, hey, what we could work on, and man, the next year it was in place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can remember one year they ain't have lines on the field, and Prophet Wells was like, hey, we need them half smokes got to be here, and they made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like adhering to what the bands need for the bands to be in the best light. To have a band come show up and people talking bad about, because you know everybody try to find the negatives in the band program, as if back in the day that we ain't have negative things happen.
Yeah.
Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Every band got bloopers, and we can do a reel on every band messing up, you know. So just being able to have the bands in the best light. That's what I would say.
Deductions with Dollar did start off a national battle of bands.
Yeah, it was.
It's so early though.
It was early, but
so early.
you can't help. I can't make up a dude dropping his drum. Rolling on the field. Like it's like,
Or your sousaphone bell coming off.
oh, your sousaphone bell coming out like
That has happened.
Jeez.
Yeah.
or somebody slipping and falling during fast cadence.
Yeah,
Pick up your feet.
Deductions with Dollar started off of the national battle of the bands. The first one was and then that became a thing after that.
With Wells.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, because it was like, you know, it was just seeing so much stuff because it's so early. And, you know, you got these people still working out kinks with the new people in the band, people coming back.
That's what you need to talk about.
What?
The amount of time, the preparation you have for camp, and then they put on these events, and the bands show up. Some bands may be a little more popular than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the universities charge these bands to come back.
They do.
Like it's not free.
Oh, yeah. So,
You got to feed them.
Feed them.
and the band is paying for that.
The band department pays for
The
that.
school just not, open up so we can have our bands. You got a budget for that stuff.
That's why we do those high school camps to generate funds.
All right. Well, we got our part 2 conversation. Other than that, I'm good.